Hi, friends. Welcome to where are we? Episode 3, episode 4. I don't know. I lost track last week with it being Holy Week. I spent some time with my family. I hope that you're able to do the same thing. It was our first Easter since COVID that the twins got to participate in all of the fun Easter egg hunts. Where it was at school, we got to go to church as a big family. We went last year, but it was still like the festivities were down. Like we didn't do all of the extra fun things. We still went to church. But this year it was just extra extra special. I mean, the twins did, I've been exaggerating, but it felt like 42 Easter egg hunts in a matter of 72 hours. It was insane. And the amount of candy that they ate was insane. But I hope you had a really great time getting in check with yourselves. Maybe you needed some downtime, a time to reflect, and hopefully you were able to hear and accept the message of hope. That's what Easter is for me. 3 years ago was when I had my first real severe meltdown where I was laid up in the bed, didn't know which way was up, to the point where that's when Jason finally came into the room and was like, "Hey, honey, we need to talk. You've been in this bed for 3 days." So it was then that I knew that something wasn't right or good. So Easter for me, for the last several years, has been a trigger. Interesting, I didn't think I had any triggers, but my husband and I have been kind of going through some things, and ironically, it is our 10-year anniversary. So, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together, walking into the /office /workout room /catch-all all the things that we don't know where to go. In the studio is my husband, Jason.
How y'all doing?
He literally just waved because we're also doing YouTube. This is also for the podcast, so
yeah.
In case you're wondering, he's waving, guys.
I'm not, you can tell I haven't done radio or anything.
Yeah, I need you to speak up just a little bit because he's sitting kind of further back behind me. So if you're just wondering, Jason's sitting a little behind me. We're just sitting in the office recording. I wanted Jay to join me just for a little bit. I wanted Jason to join me just for a little bit, just to share what it's been like for the last 10 years. I also said, let's not try to get super philosophical because he finally admitted tonight at the dinner table that I was right. But before we get into that I was right, Jason and I met 13 years ago. I like to say that we met at the Taco Bell. If you are super close to us, then you know the true story. There is a Taco Bell that is involved, and it's still very dear and special to us. We enjoy going to that Taco Bell. We probably will have to eat there this week.
Yes.
That
might be our anniversary dinner.
Yeah, well, have you played anything for anniversary dinner?
Taco Bell?
Yeah, okay. See, Lord Jesus, how did we make it 10 years? You really haven't even played dinner?
That's like your area of expertise.
Oh, here we go. Okay,
Lesson number 1, know your lane, just stay in it.
Okay, and that's what we're going to get to tonight. We're going to try to get into... I don't know how to...
I really don't know where we're going, and I'm excited about this conversation because 10 years of marriage. I'm excited.
Well, I didn't want to have 10 years of marriage 2 weeks ago, and that's what I wanted to talk about.
Gotcha.
Is that I think that Jason and I are strong enough to share that things can be awesome and things can be terrible.
You got to take the good and the bad.
Okay. But also when things get bad that we're able to communicate through it. And that's really when I wanted to share what's been the biggest thing over the last several years, especially since the kids have come, because that's when our marriage really got flipped completely upside down to where I mean, just when the twins were newborn, it was survival mode. I mean, we were just high-fiving in the middle of the day, in the middle of the night. Didn't really know, we were just, like I said, surviving.
Yes. Trying to balance a mega change. I mean, having a new child for any time is a struggle in a marriage, but then when it's twins, your first time, and the IVF and everything that we had to go through to get to that point, it was definitely uh, a, a wake up call and just changing of our life and having how were you going to balance and deal with this.
So here we are, they are 3, and now we're just still really working on communication. And I've been personally going through some things where I've also been eliminating a ton of things because I don't like the way I feel. I don't like feeling that I am just a chaos coordinator and filling other people's buckets up with my love and emotional support. I just kept filling and filling and filling, but my buckets were empty here at the house because I thought that I need to be doing all these kinds of things. So I think it's important to have open and honest conversations with your partner, no matter how difficult and hard they can be. I came to you and said, hey, I need to quit my jobs. Things are crazy. I don't like it.
And I said, okay. And, we talked about it and it was the right decision to make. And having that open line of communication in those tough times, because it's like, do we really, is it easy to just have one income and do those things? No. How are we going to have to adjust and this and that and navigating it, but understanding that in the bigger picture of things, that's what was best for our family and that's what we needed to do and figuring out the ways to make that work.
100%. So I think first is just being brave and honest enough to have those conversations. Obviously, you need to have those tools and make sure you have tools in your belt. We have been sucking using those tools, so I don't want you to be listening thinking, oh, they have it together all the time. No, because we have not been using our tools, which this is what I'm getting to, is that I've had really great communication skills reaching out to my husband and saying, this is what I need. This is exactly what I need. And he was not giving me what I needed until today. You finally had a freaking epiphany, which, I mean, I'm happy but also irritated because I have been driving myself absolutely crazy and insane because I feel like I haven't been asking a lot to try to navigate through these things. And then finally, it just clicked.
Yeah. A big aspect of it, I mean, there's a lot of different things that, we've been trying to navigate through. And like the kids complicate things, obviously, and all of that. But what you're asking, and I can't put my, head or finger on why exactly it takes so long. Or why it took me so long to kind of realize, in a nutshell, what you were asking for me in a big portion of that. And then it was like a light bulb comes on. Oh, okay. In this area, this is what you're needing, and I just need to stay out of the way. So, I guess I'm stubborn in a way, and I think a lot of men can be stubborn.
Okay, pause. For that right there, how can you help? Because I get this, whatever you're doing.
Oh, sorry.
See, that's my other thing. I have misophonia, so he's over here clicking and doing stuff, and I'm totally distracted and off my game. Which he also knows that I have that, and he continues to do those things. And then you're like, oh yeah, my bad. Oh. Anyways, what was I saying? About being stubborn.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, don't make that noise. You're like, what? Make this noise over and over, even though you know that's something that just drives you crazy and you're trying to record your podcast and all those things. Being stubborn. What would be like a good tip to
for the person that is being stubborn or the person that is dealing with somebody stubborn?
Both.
Okay. I think for the person that's dealing with somebody stubborn and it's frustrating, infuriating, and everything like that, is to be patient. It does come along eventually, and I know that's easier said than done, and I'm not trying to just be patient. It's gonna come.
Hard. Let me tell you, honey child, I've been hanging on to this one thing, this one request for a long time. And I remember in the hallway, I was like, look, Jesus gives, or I said, what did I say? God gives so much grace and patience every day. How does he do it?
Yes.
Because I'm like, bro, I'm like completely, all
right, so the thing that we're talking about that's really is just our morning routine and how we get the day started, because how you start the day kind of sets the tone for the day for both of us.
Which is something I've been preaching and saying and asking for months.
And so ideally today, things were a little bit different, and it was kind of a role reversal in a way, to where I was doing what she normally does, and she, in sense, took over my role in what I would do. And so for me, it was seeing the other perspective and seeing that, like, man, it is easier to just get the day going and rolling and the twins taken care of and set up without the other person trying to come in and fill it in. And so seeing it from her perspective and her just being, doing what I normally do or what I should have been doing, and letting her get the kids ready and me get myself ready, really opened my eyes to, like, yeah, Jason, you don't need to come in here and play rescue all the time.
Which is what I've been saying for months.
Yes.
I've literally been saying, do not come in here and help me. You are not being helpful. You are not being helpful.
Yes. And you have been saying that. And so for the stubborn person,
oh, gosh,
although your intentions are in the right place and you're trying to be helpful or whatever it may be, what you're trying to be helpful, if that person is saying this is not helpful to me, believe them, one. And then two, I would say for like I just said, put yourself in their shoes, see it from the other perspective. And that's also easier said than done.
I also use that exact same example. That's why tonight at dinner I was like, bro, that's all it took, because we've had many role reversals. There's been many times where I haven't been able to do that. But you're so damn stubborn that you hang on to that. Like, we are all getting punished because you won't give it up.
And we said that as well, and that there's...
Jeez.
Well, I mean, to be completely honest, I think there's a big part of me that feels that I have to save the day. And I don't need to save the day, because we are a team, and me trying to come in and rescue all the time is not rescuing.
No.
It's hindering. It's not allowing for growth.
It's escalating. Yes. It's hindering growth.
And all and that kind of stuff. And it's just takes a long, long time. Now, we're sitting here today and it's like, man, I understand. Now, is that saying 3-4 months down the road I don't do it again? I hope not. We
better not, because we talked about that tonight at the dinner table. Like, I can't. I cannot. I can't. This is why I'm not doing it anymore. I can't. I don't know.
Well, you're at your wit's end with dealing with a stubborn person. And
marriage. So again, I just want to reiterate, like, yes, you see us being fun and carrying our kids and looking cute, wearing matchy Mickey Mouse and stuff like that. But I also want you to know I'm 100% honest with you when it comes to,
the struggles.
Yes, the being married and the struggle. So what you see on Facebook isn't always what it is, and that the struggle is real when we're offline, and that we are struggling with, I am also stubborn. So just right now, I'm just kind of just like being boastful because finally, after 42 months of having the same conversation, it's like, oh, okay, what? What? You're right. Cool.
There'll be a future podcast where we talk about your areas of being stubborn.
That's fine. And I totally admit to those. That's the difference.
Well, yes. And that's part of me trying to grow as well. And men, we are stubborn by nature. And we are stuck in our ways, and we think that we know the answers, and we want to fix stuff, at least for me. Like, I want to fix everything. And there's just some things you cannot fix that you have to let go and say, I can't fix this. It's not something for me to fix. And it's something for me to listen. It's something for me to adjust and change. And
I
sometimes
think
that's hard to admit.
Adjusting and changing, and that's interesting because I'm all about a routine, but nothing will ever be the same with the kids. Okay, so like I'm able to do that, you're not able to do that.
No.
So that's where I'm like, bro, let that go. We've got to move on. Like there's no time sitting over here. Like we've already moved on over here.
Yes.
I also just want to say I'm thankful that I do have a husband that wants to help and fix, because there was a time, when I was depressed and I wasn't able to do anything. Been there, done that, got it. He is still treating me in that same way, which we've talked about with 82 counselors, and you still haven't let me do what I need to do. So there's my frustration. It's like, we've talked to professionals, and what do they tell you? Leave her alone. Let her do what she needs to do. She's healthy. She's strong. Yeah. She's ready to take that on. She doesn't need to be rescued.
Well, and that brings up another good point, and all of that is true. But as
you got
a person,
3 minutes.
All right, and sitting there in that moment, and you're hearing those things, and it's like, yes, that's great, but you still want to cater and nurture and
okay, but I don't want you to do that.
Exactly. You don't need that.
Okay, we've heard it here. We got it on video. Audio, we heard
that's
it.
Why I was asking.
Correct. I ain't no dummy. I'm getting it written down. These days, there's proof of everything everywhere. Okay. I appreciate you coming and sharing that, because I know that is hard. And if you want us to have more of these conversations, we can totally do that. Because Jay and I will tell you the good, the ugly, the bad, as we're getting ready to celebrate 10 years. It has been wonderful. It has been great. It's just these last 3 years have been the roughest, toughest, craziest
Absolutely.
waters to ever navigate in the whole wide world. But I will tell you, believing in God, having a foundation, having the right people in our circle that are not going to gossip, bitty body, talk trash, pick sides, throw fuel onto it. That's another thing too. When things get crazy, we do have a core of people that we reach out to. But
both of us. Just saying.
I use mine more.
Well, I'm a man.
But I just mean, like, I'm not gossiping about the downfalls that my husband and I are having. Yes. Like, that's what I'm trying to say. So just when things do get crazy, I'm able to vent and reach out, and I'm like, hey, can we talk about this? And we pray about it, and we both make sure that we're focused in the right thing.
Well, and I'd like to also say that in light of the past 3 years that have been crazy, I'm so thankful that we did have God in our lives and the foundation in our marriage up until that point.
True.
That we both know it ain't easy. Mm-hmm. It's not. It's a day-to-day, struggle, if you will. But at the same time, we know that who we value each other are, and what we're, how we look at each other, and what our big picture thing is we're not going anywhere.
Right.
We need to get through this together, and that's because we built that foundation in the beginning with God, with our people, with our faith, and with our communication before these problems came up.
And that's what I was saying. Like, I'm thankful that we have tools in our tool belt. They definitely be sharpened for him. Mine are sharp as a tack. Just kidding. Just joking. That's not true. It's not really that sharp, guys. Totally joking. Everybody just relax. We're like, woo, Coco's going crazy. She's really just reaming her husband on this one.
Well, sometimes we deserve to get reamed. I mean,
honestly, there we have it again, folks. Proof again.
That's also a two-way street. So
I didn't hear that part. What?
Yeah, but another big part is admitting when you are wrong. Nobody likes to do it. Nobody, we get, oh, no, I'm good. It takes a lot of strength and courage to admit when you're wrong and say you're sorry and apologize.
Oh, yeah.
So
I do that easily now. I feel like I do it a lot easier. Easier now.
I mean, if we're honest, and this is honest hours, so, I think there was a time that both of us, neither one of us wanted to apologize for anything. Because
when? Okay, we'll do the next episode.
Yeah.
When?
Earlier. In, beginning of our marriage.
We just talked about that. That's old news. We said that now we have a foundation and where we're going. Yes, I thought you meant right now. I was like, boy, bye.
No. I'm saying, at the start of our marriage.
Oh, yeah, that was
when we're two individuals trying to figure out that, there was
also, I would say this, that you each need your own individual counseling.
Mm. We all have baggage.
I'm just going to leave. You each need your own counseling, and then y'all need counseling together, which we need more counseling in this area. Big time. Massive. More. Anyways, all right, honey. Love you.
Peace
Happy
out.
Anniversary. We're going to go have some Taco Bell. Stay tuned for social media. We'll be posting some photos. I say we. It'll be me posting some photos. And also, we will catch you at the ranch. That's where Jason and I had our anniversary party. We went there our wedding night after the wedding, and we've just been there through all kinds of celebrations with Eli and Alex. So anyways, cheers. If you're celebrating 10 years, here's to you. And for real, if we should do more conversations with my husband, what should we chat about? Man, there's lots that we could chat about. Also, I'll pick back up on what I'm doing for my mental health and different things like that. There's just so much to navigate, but we are getting somewhere, friends. So as always, thank you for listening. Thanks for checking out CoCo's Corners podcast. Also, have you been listening to the Beachy Mamas with my friend Liz? That's a lot of fun. She is fabulous. So we also have that podcast as well, called the Beachy Mamas. Thanks for listening, friend, and I'll catch you next week. Peace.